Hey guys, welcome back. So I did a live stream today, about 4 hours or so, but a lot of you guys I know tuned in for XXII and you may have missed it, and I got quite a few messages asking, what time it was at and everything like that. So I thought I'd do just a really quick separate video for you guys, just to take a quick look at XXII and what I thought for tomorrow. So right now we have the 15-minute pulled up, and we have the Ichimoku cloud and the stochastic MACD and RSI as well. And I just want to talk a little bit about why I think there's still going to be a bit more of a dip. Basically, we did really good here on the 15-minute of going through this resistance cloud. Our lagging indicator is not too bad. We're still about the same 26 periods back, so it's not really a positive trend yet. And what I didn't like as well is that we went into a sell signal above the cloud here, and we're just kind of floating, which is nice, but it leads me to believe that it's still going to fall a bit more based on the stochastic here. As you can see, it's going down. MACD is still on a steady decline, and RSI is not really perking up that much. And as you can see, we're approaching a consolidation cloud, so we very easily could keep hitting down from the top of this resistance and just start going down into this cloud, and very easily pass through the bottom of it if we don't reject this really nicely tomorrow. Now I'm hoping that we reject it, and I'm hoping that it bounces up and actually glides along this path and we can get another buy signal going on. But with how sharply the stochastic is going down and the MACD just continuously going down, it's not as hopeful for me. But let's look at it on the 60-minute really quick. And again, on the 60-minute, you can see a little bit more of what I'm talking about. We did get into a buy signal technically on the 60-minute right here, but it is below the clouds, and we want that buy signal above the clouds. And even if we start increasing here again, we're going to start hitting resistance again pretty soon. I mean, around 280 or so, we might hit it, maybe around 285. But again, that's the top of this huge candle where a bunch of people sold off. It's retesting way back on the 22nd here. And again, it's just more resistance to fight through again to try to get back to this $3 range. So it's not looking as positive as it could, but it's not looking as bad as it could either. I just feel like it's either going to be consolidating more, or people are going to get bored and there's going to be more of a dip because of that. And again, you can see with our lagging indicator, this goldenrod color here, it is below the stock price. And remember, we want that to be above because that's showing positive trend in the positive, the present time. So being that we're still retesting the stuff back here on the 22nd, I'm not super confident in it, but I do like having the buy signal. It's just, again, we're going to be approaching some resistance that might be a problem. And if we actually pull up the daily chart here, as you can see, I have these lines drawn at the major support right down here. And again, on the daily, we're going into a bit of almost a sell signal. It's about to cross. And we have all our indicators as well going down as well. So excuse me, I still think it's a bit risky to buy right now, because as you can see, it's still breaking through this red resistance line here, and we're still, like I said, we're still floating down here. RSI is leveling off, but stochastic is turning up a little bit. So I mean, it is possible still, like I said on the other 15-minute chart, it is possible that this buy signal will let us perk back up, but you have to be wary of the support zone down here, and that it might want to consolidate again, because if you look, we had some pretty large candles on the way up, and it did not really sustain at the peak very well at all. I think when that, the bat news came out and people were very unimpressed that the deal didn't go through, it's just a lot of people left, and that buying pressure still hasn't returned really. And if we pull up the volume, you can see there as well. Like we had a lot, anticipation going up into the bat news all through August. Things kind of died down while people waited, and then again, anticipation for it, news came out, and we went down. It's been mostly selling pressure since then. So again, I don't think that it's necessarily going to crash, but I definitely think it needs to consolidate some more. Best case, in my opinion, is it's going to ride in this zone in between the lines and just kind of consolidate here. And hopefully that's what it does, and it doesn't test down here. But again, it's just, with our indicators going down a bit like that, it's kind of hard to say, in my opinion, exactly what's going to happen. But I do believe that we will be testing down in this lower zone again. And even if we just consolidate, that still gets us into October with this zone right here that we might even consolidate in some more. So it really needs a lot of buying pressure. It needs something to shoot this up and get it out of this range. Because as of right now, the buying pressure is just not really there. And let's go ahead and just do like a quick fib and just see how it's been testing this zone and see if we can find anything interesting to go off of that. So we're going to go down here from our dip right there. Let's go ahead and go up to our peak. All right. And as you can see, this is a really sharp incline. And a lot of times when we see that sharp incline, it does not like to hold it because it's just too increased too fast. And as you can see, it couldn't hold it. It dipped back below. It's trying to consolidate around this line here that I drew, the 226. And if you remember, that 226 is where the bottom of our daily cloud was on the Ichimoku. So it's a very obvious kind of support and resistance there. And again, as you can see, we had an unnatural peak just like this, very unnatural, very steep, and it could not hold it very well. And again, it's combined with the PR that wasn't that good, and it went down to retest. So we are still above this level here, but when you look at it on the daily, you can see it's still pretty darn close to this level, and these candles are pretty big. So again, it may have reached a bottom and bouncing back up. As you can see, it tested this fib here and is still in between these fans. So it very well may continue on this, but it just as easily, I think, could fall. So, I mean, my opinion is if you're in it, you may want to try to average down kind of soon or see what happens. If you're not in it, you may want to wait to buy and just make sure it can get out of those resistance ranges. Because again, it's just everything's pointing to it going a little bit more down. I mean, it's not necessarily true, but it's just that's how things are looking to me right now. And I mean, even if you look at this fib trend here, it's just, again, it's just mostly down from that point, from the peak. And right there, peak to peak, these are about the same, right? So it needs to bust above this. It really needs that power. It needs something to happen to make it go up. And I'm not sure just the normal buying pressure that we've had right now is enough. Because as you can see, it's still on these dips. It's following a trend down. And I think it really might dip down here to 235 to 225. Maybe even possibly tomorrow. I don't know. But just be a little bit wary. If you're in it, average down if you can. If you don't want to exit. If you're not in it, maybe wait to see what happens. See if another run starts. But we need the volume. We need the buying pressure. And we just need some good news to come out of this, because the Ichimoku is just a little bit spooky on the daily, and I don't want you guys to get caught in purchasing in and have it break this resistance for real this time and start heading down to that zone. So just keep your eyes open, stay active on it during the day. Don't let it out of your sight if you're in it, and really just watch and be careful for this dip down here. And if it does hit, I think it will rebound pretty darn hard though, and that will be your chance to do a little swing play, especially if you average down. Alright guys, well, have a good night, and hopefully that was a little bit helpful for you.